It's been nearly 2 weeks since Alpine, the French-based F1 team, announced that they would replace two-time F1 champion Fernando Alonso with F2 champion Oscar Piastri for the upcoming season. Daniel Ricciardo has shared the downs of this season. First off, joining a new team with different cars made it challenging for him to adapt. The whole first half of the season was spent catching up and learning a thing or two about McLaren and their cars. The team, however, had higher expectations than what he could deliver, leaving them unsatisfied, and no wonder they want to replace him. In an interview with the racer, he said that the second half of the season was better than what most people pictured it to be, as he had at least been acquainted with the machines. Today's video is all about Daniel Ricciardo's next season rumors. Stick till the end of the video for more. Daniel was born in Perth, Australia. He races under the Australian flag. At an early age, Ricciardo used to see his father take part in racing events. At the age of 9, he began karting. Seeing his dad race and access to karting at a young age developed a passion for motor racing in him. Let me describe his career in short now. Initially, he raced for the Tiger Kart Club. Following that, he took part in the Formula Ford Series. The following year, he earned a scholarship to the Formula BMW Asian Championship. He tasted victory in his debut season itself. The same year, he took part in the Formula BMW UK Championship. Following his Formula 1 BMW stint, he switched to Formula Renault. After 2 years, he made it to the Formula 3 Series. On many occasions, he displayed his skills and talent through sublime performances. Let us talk about his Formula 1 career now. He entered the Formula 1 scene as a test driver for Red Bull Racing Team. The team clearly saw his talent and decided to nurture it. He represented Red Bull at the Young Drivers Test. For the subsequent season, he was hired as the test driver and reserve driver of Toro Rosso, Red Bull's racing sister team. By now, Red Bull clearly knew how talented Daniel was. They just wanted to polish this rough diamond and produce a valuable gem. In Formula 1, he represented teams like HRT, Toro Rosso, Red Bull Racing, Renault, and McLaren. He spent most of his time with Red Bull Racing. With Red Bull, he managed to pull off some splendid shows for his fans and racing enthusiasts. With Red Bull Racing and Renault, he managed to bag many podium finishes. As of now, he has joined the McLaren team. He's a quick learner and is quickly adapting to his new car. Alpine not ruling out return for Formula 1 in 2023. As Oscar Piastri opens the door, Daniel Ricciardo has been reportedly told by McLaren that they are planning to sign Oscar Piastri for 2023. So, could the 32-year-old return to the Renault family with Alpine? The team boss, Otmar Szafnauer, has his say on Ricciardo. Alpine boss Otmar Szafnauer says the team would have no issue in bringing Daniel Ricciardo back should Oscar Piastri not drive for them in Formula 1 2023. Alpine have been at the center of the driver market drama this summer after Fernando Alonso shocked the team by signing for Aston Martin, while their planned replacement Oscar Piastri sensationally refuted their announcement and insisted he will be driving elsewhere next season. The Piastri fiasco has brought Ricciardo unexpectedly back into the mix, as Piastri's instance that he will not be driving for Alpine is believed to be down to him nearing an agreement with McLaren, Ricciardo's current team. Ricciardo has a contract for 2023, but reports late last week stated that McLaren had told him they are planning to replace him. Should Piastri be taking Ricciardo's seat? A solution for all parties may be Ricciardo to Alpine. Ricciardo drove for the team, who were previously known as Renault, for 2 seasons from 2019, where he rediscovered his form of old from Red Bull, and earned his move to McLaren, where he has since struggled. Alpine are adamant, even in light of Piastri's claims, that their current reserve driver has no obligation to drive for them next season. But if that does not happen, the French outfit are not ruling out Ricciardo. I mean, if you look at Fernando, for example, he comes and goes. I think that happens to other drivers too, says team boss Szafnauer. Speaking before Piastri's statement, was quoted as saying, "And I don't think that's an issue at all. I think that what we need to focus on, like I say, the plans that we have for the next 89-88 races. We've got to make sure that we complement the plan with the best driver next to Esteban, so that we can move forward towards what we've been planning." Szafnauer was also quoted in the Spanish media saying Ricciardo was a good recommendation. Ricciardo raced in 38 races for Renault after joining from Red Bull, and domination teammates Nico Hülkenberg and Esteban Ocon scoring 2 podiums in the process. He has struggled next to Lando Norris at McLaren, but has stressed that he wants to stay with the walking team. He is a source of inspiration for me and others. The best thing I like about him is his personality. This man always shows up with a big smile. This trait teaches me to stay calm during any kind of adversity, to face each problem with a smile on his face. Second thing is he is a fearless driver. He is fondly called Honey Badger. While in the car, he bids a goodbye to fear. This allows him to take his car to its limits, and it also enables him to take calculated risks. Last but not the least, he is much disciplined when it comes to his lifestyle. He gives adequate importance to physical exercise and training. A young guy can derive much inspiration from Daniel's life. Ricciardo has been going through a ton of drama for a while. McLaren signed a deal with Alpine reserve driver Oscar Piastri to replace the 8-time Grand Prix winner, and this is when his downfall started. Ricciardo joined McLaren with the hope of reviving his career, but this bore no fruits. For his first season, he became 9th, and 5th in his second season. McLaren has decided to replace the driver for the 2023 season because of his deemed failure. His situation is looking bad, and he may be forced to retire from the sport he adores. He doesn't seem interested to join McLaren's IndyCar team. The only other option he has is to look for other teams to join or retire. The McLaren CEO is in talks with Ricciardo to pay him what remains of the $17 million per year contract. When Ricciardo switched to McLaren last season, his future seemed bright. As a sign of the team's commitment, he was offered a 3-year contract, which must retain Ricciardo in orange through the completion of the next season. When Ricciardo joined McLaren, Zach Brown exclaimed that the team's lineup of drivers was really exciting, and both of the drivers were really great people off the track, and powerful racers on the track. However, Ricciardo has difficulty getting the desired results. Despite winning at Monza, in 2021 Norris outqualified him 15 times, and he came in 45 points behind Norris in the Drivers' Championship. Norris scored 39 points through the initial 6 races of the season, along with a podium, but Ricciardo only accumulated 11 points, which was even fewer than Kevin Magnussen's had. After Brown made certain statements the week before the race in Monaco, rumors started to circulate that he would not complete his contract with McLaren. After Ricciardo finished 12th in Barcelona, Brown said, short of Monza and a few other races, generally not kind of met his or our expectations, as far as what we were expecting. In 2022, Ricciardo has only outperformed Norris twice in Monaco. Ricciardo had a serious collision during practice and started over 7/10 of a second later than his teammate in Q2, which doomed him to fail outside the points. Ricciardo's departure from McLaren now appears to be a very real possibility. Before visiting the Indy 500, Brown allegedly stated that in Ricciardo's contract there existed some mechanisms that might affect their commitment to one another. Who else could replace him for McLaren? Oscar Piastri, the reserve driver of Alpine, was offered to McLaren as Daniel Ricciardo got on well during a test. Alpine is determined to get Piastri a racing seat in the next year. Super license points permitting Pato O'Ward, a McLaren SP driver who came in second in the Indianapolis 500, would be a great option as well. Before it gets to that point, can Ricciardo change the situation? The 33-year-old racing driver is under pressure to resolve the issue he has really been focusing on from the last season. The chances of Ricciardo getting a team to join, however, are not slim. There is competition from younger drivers. If he can still want to take the long route and wait for other drivers' contracts to expire, there is no assurance that he can get a team even as late as 2024. The competition is still stiff, and with challenges such as papers not telling the whole story, Ricciardo's chances of surviving in F1 are minimal. Through a tweet, the Australian star denied driving for the F1 team, saying it was wrong, and he hasn't signed a contract with Alpine for the 2023 season. This, however, led to speculation that Oscar Piastri has had discussions with other teams. His next likely choice is McLaren, which has Lando Norris and Daniel Ricciardo. The latter is the victim of his summer break chaos. Both McLaren drivers have multi-year contracts, with Ricciardo's expiring at the end of 2023. With all the uncertainties, however, we might see his contract terminated early to make way for the young Australian star. This begs the question, where will Daniel go next? Let's be honest, no one who knows Daniel Ricciardo and loves F1 fathoms the idea of not having him on the grid next year. That's all for today's video, so what do you think? Comment down below. Please subscribe and hit the notification bell for more updates. And don't forget to like and share our videos.